And yeah, we just did this now. And now let's think about this. This condition, this case may work when there are already some nodes in the linked list. But when we are inserting the first node in this linked list, would this work? Let's just think about this. What is going to happen when the first node, when we are going to call this function insert at end to insert the first node in the linked list? So what is going to be the value of head that is passed into this function? When the first node is inserted at line 10, when we call this function, what is going to be the value of head? It is just null. From the previous line, we can see we have initialized head to null, and so we just pass in null. And so the value that is assigned here for current is also null. Current also points to null. And when we come and try accessing this particular line of code, current.next, we are trying to say dereference a pointer called current, which points to null, which is like wrong, okay? Which is like null is address 0, and address 0 is like reserved address. We can't really dereference that particular address. And so it throws a null pointer exception or a segmentation fault. And once that happens, your program will crash. Okay, and so here it is really important. If you want, we can just try that out, okay? So they say like null is an undeclared identifier, okay? So to use null, we have to null will be defined in some header files. I think it's standard library. Okay, let's check that. Yeah, and even malloc, okay, even malloc is defined in standard library, and so standard lib.h. Once we declare that, now you are able to like compile this program, and when we try to run this program, it says segmentation fault core dumped, which was mainly because of the reason that I just showed. We are trying to dereference a null pointer, okay, which is wrong. And so your program, the operating system, immediately kills your program or terminates your program, okay? And to avoid this, what we are going to do now is we are just going to see how can we avoid this. So for the first node that we are actually inserting in the linked list, we should handle it separately as a special case. So in this case, let's assume this is going to be the first node, okay? So how can we figure that out? If the head that we just got inside this function, or if the current, both are the same right now, if the head is equals null, okay, if the head equals null, then it's going to be the list is empty. So the element that we are adding is the first element in the linked list. And in order to change, okay, in order to add this element to the linked list, what should happen really?